What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. Right now we're cruising in the Chevy, got the DRZ loaded up in the back. Somewhere in West Virginia, we're heading down to Asheville, North Carolina. Whip the DRZ around, hopefully get some good miles on it, and hopefully get some good miles on my feet as well. Going to do some hiking, and then we're going to cruise over to Charlotte sometime through the week, hang out there for a little while, and then come back home. So this upload is definitely way different than what you're used to seeing on my channel, as this isn't any kind of install or review. Rather, it's just me and you guys in the truck talking and you know, road tripping. Definitely a little bit more personal than my normal videos, but I feel like it's still relevant, so I wanted to bring you guys along with me. This is the first big road trip in the truck, you know, roughly 500 miles each way, plus whatever kind of driving I do while I'm down in the Carolinas. The biggest road trip I've done so far is like 150 miles from Pittsburgh to Erie for dinner and back, and that's kind of like an occurring thing. That's a normal thing for me. So this is definitely the biggest road trip I've taken a truck on so far. I'm kind of curious how it does, as we're going to be heading down to Daytona in, you know, about 6 more weeks. So this kind of gives me a little idea of how the truck handles long road trips and things of that nature. Alright, so before I left the house this morning, roughly 80 miles ago, I reset my fuel mileage. We're going to see what the truck does. Round trip with the mileage, I'll be honest, I figured it would be doing way better than roughly 16 at this moment. I was figuring road trip wise I could get around 18 to 20, but I guess, you know, we still have 400 miles to go. I also reset my best 50. Right now it's showing around 17.7, so we'll be able to see what the best 50 I can get on this trip is at some given point. And then up in the corner, you'll notice we have something a little bit new. That is the Ultra Gauge. You've never seen it on the channel to date. I never bought that for the truck. I actually bought that for my Sonic a couple years ago, because the Sonic had literally nothing in the instrument cluster except for a tach, a fuel gauge, and the speedometer. And I bought the Ultra Gauge so I can actually look at some kind of gauges, because this plugs into the OBD2 ports. It scans your car and it finds a bunch of different things that it can read. So right now we got it in the Chevy. I have nothing but the engine temp and the intake temp, and I have that going because as soon as we get back from North Carolina, before we head to Daytona, we're going to be putting a cold air intake on the truck. So I'm going to try to collect data from this trip to see if cold air intakes really do bring in colder air. And I'm sure the average intake temperature is going to vary depending on the ambient outside temperature. This trip it's going to be around 60s and 70s. Going to Daytona, it's going to be like in the probably the 80s and the 90s. So I'm definitely going to take all that stuff into consideration when I perform all my data and comparisons. The same thing for the fuel. Like, I want to see if an intake will actually help with fuel mileage, even quite possibly an exhaust if we get that done before Daytona as well. All that being said, I'm like an hour and a half into my drive so far. It looks like I got about 6 hours to go. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep on driving, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, we made it. Made it to the beautiful Asheville, North Carolina. Truck did pretty good. Came in right around that 16 mile per gallon mark for the entire trip, almost 500 miles. I'm very surprised. I thought this thing would do way better. highway miles. I guess it probably has something to do with the wheels and tires. A little bit heavy for the truck. If I put my stocks on, maybe I would have gotten 20. I don't know. I thought I would still get 20 anyways, but it's a good base number, so that way we know when we go down to Daytona with a quarter intake and possibly an exhaust, we'll know if it does anything different, if we get anything a little bit better than what we got for this trip here. I also have no clue how many videos I'm going to film while being on vacation here, because I don't really know what I'm going to do and what I'm going to want to film. Now I'm going to be here for like an entire week. I know exactly what I want to do, but I don't know when I'm going to do it and what vehicle I'm going to do it with. I have the truck here, I got the bike here. We're definitely going to go back to the hotel now, check in, get the bike out, and then cruise the Blue Ridge Parkway. And I'd like to have my GoPro helmet mount on my, I'd like to have my GoPro on the helmet mount for when we start to do that stuff. But yeah, I don't want to make these too long for you or too boring, but I definitely want to include some content of cruising the Blue Ridge Parkway and then some other stuff we might do with the truck. There's a lot of places down here I know where you get really good photos. I want to take the truck and the bike to, and there's a lot of trail riding I want to do. There's a lot of hiking I want to do, and I just don't know exactly what yet I'm going to film, produce for vlogs for you guys. So I don't know if I'm signing off. I'm going to do it just in case this is the last thing that you see from me today. I don't know, truck did pretty well. Two things I didn't like about the overall trip, the overall experience. 500 miles, the longest I've taken the truck so far, is fuel mileage. I thought I'd do way better fuel mileage wise, so we'll see what kind of bolt-ons we could do to try to help that out in the future. And then I did not like, the truck felt really laggy. Now, normally I feel like the truck has some pretty good get up and go, you know, some pep to it, but driving such a long distance like we just did, it was the first time I really realized that like keeping this truck at 70 miles per hour at the highway speed was really, really difficult. Like if it was on cruise control, it would eventually downshift, but even being on cruise and when I wasn't on cruise, to keep this truck at 70, we started going up a grade. You'll lose 10 miles per hour before the truck finally decides to downshift, kind of go and keep up with, you know, the speed that you want to go to. And I know I could jam on the pedal, but it's like, it's so laggy. I don't feel like I should be jamming on the pedal just to get up a small grade. Any kind of grade, this truck just like decelerated like crazy, and you really had to press on the pedal to get this thing to downshift to keep going. So once again, hopefully some bolt-ons might help with that as well. But overall, I think the truck did pretty well. I'm excited to be here. It's sunny, it's beautiful, unlike it was back at home in PA. I want to get a little bit of B-roll of the truck sitting here because I think it looks really, really good. I'm going to sign off for now just in case I don't see you guys later. And thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. First big road trip with the truck. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of stuff to come this week. I'll see what I could film. I don't know what I'm going to film, like I said. I'm sorry. But for now, thank you for watching. Smash that thumbs up button for me. Subscribe if you're not a part of the family. Join the family, join the builds, join the adventures, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.